Hi, my name is Eiren Caffal, and I am the writer of the novel All the Water in the World, and I am delighted to have been asked to talk to my 18-year-old self and tell them why they need to read this book. All the Water in the World is a book about New York City after the climate collapse, after the glaciers have melted, and the scientists who remain at the Museum of Natural History in order to protect the collections and each other. I wrote the book basically for my 18-year-old self. My 18-year-old self was already really anxious about climate change, about ecosystemic collapse. My mother was an EPA scientist, so I had kind of a front row seat on a lot of the emerging science and knew enough to be afraid. And I've spent my life working as a science reporter, doing very heavily researched work on ocean ecosystems, and it didn't really make me feel at my core like I wasn't right to be worried at 18. But I also started doing a lot of work on looking at what happens in communities after the worst things take place, whether that's a major climate-fueled hurricane or an earthquake. And I began to realize that we have a human history of protecting each other, protecting what's most important, protecting communities, scientific knowledge, information, even in the worst case scenarios of huge disasters. And I wanted to tell that story. I wanted to not only tell a really well-researched story about what could happen in a worst case scenario, but I wanted to say, even if the worst happens, we still are human beings who know how to take care of each other and believe in each other and the possibility of rebirth and renewal and hope. And I've read a lot of climate fiction. I've read a lot of science fiction. I think the best of that work is something that helps us deal with the fear that we have at the moment. 18-year-old me really needed that book. I think a lot of 18-year-olds right now need that book. And also, by telling stories that aren't about the end, where the end is final and disastrous alone, where there's hope for renewal and the rebuilding of community and faith in each other. When we tell that story, we begin to figure out how to make the world that we want in the future and how to live in the world as it's struggling today without forgetting that we have the power to change everything for the better at any point, as long as we take care of each other first. I think that's a story that people in college really need right now. I still need it as a mom of someone in college, but I think young people especially need to know how to look to the future with a sense of being able to build the world they want.